Today, in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the protocols and standards of the smart home and let you know what requires a hub and what doesn't, so stay tuned. Hey guys, my name's Kyle Wright and I'm your smart home butler. If you want to be educated, empowered, and informed about everything smart home technology, then go ahead and click that subscribe button and click the bell so you can get notifications about future videos. So let's get started with the technologies that don't require a hub. Almost everybody uses Wi-Fi in their homes, and it's a crucial part of the smart home. So we're going to talk a little bit about 2.4 gigahertz versus 5 gigahertz bands. We're going to talk a little bit about the non-hub required protocols, and we're going to start with Wi-Fi. So there's the 2.4 gigahertz band and the 5 gigahertz band. So the 2.4 is going to be able to travel a further distance, but delivers less speed and performance to the end device. It's not as good for streaming services or other things that require a lot of data. In ideal conditions, you might only get 400 to about 600 megabits per second if you have perfect conditions, which most Americans do not because they live in a neighborhood with hundreds of other routers around them. Also, the 2.4 gigahertz can go up to 20 to 30 feet, which is pretty good for the size of a traditional American home. 2.4 can travel a further distance but delivers less speed and performance to the end user. You can connect between 10 to 20 devices before you're going to start seeing performance issues with the 2.4 gigahertz band. So many homes today have 2.4 gigahertz bands, and there's a lot of congestion and traffic that you have to consider. 5 gigahertz band travels a shorter distance but delivers much faster speeds. This is the band that you're going to use if you have fiber internet. If you have 1,000 up, 1,000 down, then the 5 gigahertz band is going to be your best friend. 5 gigahertz supports 1,300 megabits per second and can only travel about 10 to 15 feet, which in some conditions may only be the length of a single room. This is where mesh networks are really going to help you out. If you want to check out a video where I talk about that, I'm going to put that in the card above. So we're going to talk a little bit about the three main hub protocols. So we have Z-Wave, Zigbee, and BLE, which is Bluetooth Low Energy. So Z-Wave and Zigbee are very similar in a lot of ways, but I'm going to give you kind of the differences between the two. So Z-Wave operates within the 800 to 900 megahertz band, which it allows it to travel much farther distances. Also, one thing to note is that if you use one of those old-time cordless phones when we still had landlines, a lot of those phones operate on the 800 to 900 megahertz band, so you might start seeing interference. With that lower frequency, we can get up to 100 meters, which is approximately 300 feet from the hub. So you really don't have to worry about having multiple hubs or trying to create a mesh network with Z-Wave because of the distance that it can travel. You can have up to 232 devices connected with Z-Wave in your home. Z-Wave also uses 128 AES encryption when it's sending data over the wire, so that's a good thing for if you're trying to keep your home secure. Z-Wave is also a proprietary protocol, which means that not anybody can use it. It's not open source. You have to get approval and different licensings to use this protocol, and creates a lot of barriers to entry for various vendors and devices that are coming to the market. So let's talk a little bit about Zigbee. Zigbee is very similar to Z-Wave, but there are a few differences. Both Z-Wave and Zigbee devices act as repeaters for their signal. So if you have a light bulb that works with Zigbee, then it's going to repeat the signal to all the other devices within its vicinity from the hub. So this can be really great for both of these protocols. Zigbee uses the 2.4 gigahertz band, very similar to Wi-Fi. So you might see some performance issues or interference. I personally have not seen any issues with it. Zigbee can send more data because of the higher frequency, but this also means that like the 2.4 gigahertz band, it can only travel a shorter distance, usually anywhere from about 10 to 15 feet. So Zigbee can send more data because of its higher frequency, but can only travel about 20 to 30 feet. But the good thing is, with the Zigbee protocol, all devices act as a signal repeater. So you can virtually get your signal anywhere in your home the more Zigbee devices that you have. You can have up to 65,000 devices on one Zigbee hub. Now, realistically, you're going to start seeing a lot of performance issues before you get to that number of devices. So don't worry about there being a limit for how many devices you can have. Also, like Z-Wave, Zigbee uses 128-bit AES encryption when it's sending your data, so somebody's not going to be able to tap that wire and steal the data. One of the things that I really like about Zigbee is that they require a physical button press to connect anything to the hub, which is really nice because it adds an extra level of physical security. Somebody actually has to be in your home to hit the button in order for it to be used. Zigbee is an open source protocol, meaning that anybody can use it from a development standpoint. Devices are being added daily to the Zigbee protocol, and there's a lot of choices for you to make. This allows a lot of the developers to create their own ecosystems and whatnot within the Zigbee protocol. So BLE, or Bluetooth Low Energy, is a great protocol if you have devices that are not connected to a power source. A device that is run on BLE can run off of a single battery for well over a year, which is great for smaller devices like the SwitchBot, the Tile trackers, and even some of the Philips Hue lights like the Philips Hue Go. The BLE protocol really allows for portability of the smart home. Any device that has Bluetooth can connect to your phone and you can travel. I've seen people that use the Philips Hue Go lights and will travel with them to places where they don't have a hub or they don't have an internet connection, but they do still have their cellular device. This makes great for outside parties and any events where you may not be near technology. Also, you may be asking about this new protocol that has just been announced, Connected Home over IP. We know that Amazon, Google, Apple, the Zigbee Alliance, and several other brands have all come together to create a unified protocol called Connected Home over IP. If this is successful at its launch, it will allow for devices to use this new protocol and we'll have a lot more connectivity across all of our devices. What we know so far is that this protocol is going to be open source, a lot like Zigbee. When the standard comes out, we may see some firmware updates for devices to use Connected Home over IP, but we also may see new devices entering the market. So this could really shake up and change the smart home industry when it starts to roll out towards the end of 2020 and into 2021. I think we have some time to really prepare for this, but don't go out and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on smart home technology just yet. Hold off at least another year until we start seeing what Connected Home over IP can really do. So question of the day, what standard are you planning to use in your smart home? And what do you think about the new Connected Home standard? Let me know in the comments below. I love to connect with you guys. And if you want to connect with me further, you can come to community.wrightnearhome.com, where we have a forum platform where you can ask questions and get answers and interact with me. So we hope to see you there. This was the fourth and final part of our smart home basics. If you want to learn more about networking and mesh networks for your home, go check out this video. If you haven't watched the rest of the Smart Home Basics series, then you're going to want to click down below. Go check those out, and we hope to see you next time here at Right Near Home.